Good day, Coach Jude and classmates. I am the second presenter, and I am Mudifa Ipatta from Bitoled IA. And today, I am going to discuss the cognitive and metacognitive factors. In cognitive and metacognitive factors, I am going to tackle the following: nature of the learning process, goals of the learning process, construction of knowledge, strategic thinking, thinking about thinking, and context of learning. Nature of the learning process. The learning of complex subject matter is most effective when it is an intentional process of constructing meaning from information and experience. There are different types of learning process. For example, habit formation in motor learning, and learning that involves the generation of knowledge or cognitive skills and learning strategies. Learning in school emphasizes the use of intentional processes that students can use to construct meaning from information, experiences, and their own thoughts and beliefs. Goals of the learning process. The successful learner, over time and with support and instructional guidance, can create meaningful, coherent representations of knowledge and to acquire the thinking and learning strategies necessary for continued learning success across the lifespan. Students must generate and pursue personal relevant goals. Construction of knowledge. The successful learner can link new information with existing knowledge in meaningful ways. Knowledge widens and deepens as a student continues to build links between new information and experiences and their existing knowledge base. The nature of these links can take a variety of forms, such as adding to, modifying, or reorganizing existing knowledge or skills. Strategic thinking. The successful learner can create and use a repertoire of thinking and reasoning strategies to achieve complex goals. Successful learners are strategic thinking and their approach to learning, reasoning, problem solving, and concept learning. They understand and can use a variety of strategies to help them reach learning and performance goals and to apply their knowledge in novel situations. Thinking about thinking. Higher order strategies for selecting and monitoring mental operations facilitate creative and critical thinking. Successful learners can reflect on how they think and learn. Set reasonable learning or performance goals. Select potentially appropriate learning strategies or methods. And monitor their progress toward these goals. In addition, successful learners know what to do if a problem occurs or if they are not making sufficient or timely progress toward a goal. And the last one is the context of learning. Learning is influenced by environmental factors, including culture, technology, and instructional practices. Learning does not occur in a vacuum. Teachers play a major interactive role with both the learner and the learning environment.
Hi everyone, I hope you're doing well. I am Paikon Ibanin and today I'm really excited to share something important, how our motivation and emotion can affect how we learn. We've all had those moments where emotions like curiosity or anxiety either help or held us back, right? Well, let's explore why that happens and what we can do about it. There are three main areas I'm going to talk about today. The first one is how motivation and emotions influence learning. The second one, what is intrinsic motivation is and why is it important? And how motivation impact the effort we put into learning. As learners, our motivation is deeply influenced by our emotions. When we feel curious or excited about a topic, we tend to focus more and perform better. For example, imagine being excited about a project in class. You will likely do extra research, stay engaged, and even enjoy the process. On the other hand, we experience negative emotions like anxiety or fear. Learning can become much harder. A lot of us have been there before, right? Think about when you are super anxious before an exam. Sometimes that stress makes it hard to even concentrate or remember what you studied. So, positive emotions like curiosity tend to boost our learning, while intense negative emotions like stress or fear can hold us back. Now, let's talk about something called intrinsic motivation. This is when we're motivated from when we learn because we're curious or passionate about something, not just because for reward or grades. I'm sure you have felt it before. Maybe it was a hobby or maybe it was a school project that really clicked with you. When we feel that personal connection to what we're learning, it makes a huge difference. We become more creative, think more deeply, and even enjoy the challenge. For example, if you are interested in technology, a process on coding will feel exciting and you will be driven to learn more, even if it is challenging. This is why it's important for teachers to create tasks that feels personal relevant to their students. Effort is where motivation really shows its power. If we're motivated, we're willing to put in more energy and time to learn, even when it gets difficult. On the flip side, without motivation, it's hard to push through and we might give up easily. Think about learning a new skill like playing musical instrument. If you are excited and motivated to learn, you will practice for hours even when you struggle. But if you're not really into it, the moment it gets tough, it's easy to walk away. This is why educators need to focus on encouraging motivations so students are willing to put in the effort needed to master complex skills. To wrap things up, we've learned that motivation and emotions are key drivers of learning. Intrinsic motivation, the kind that comes from curiosity and personal interest, help us go further. Motivations fuel the effort we put into learning, especially when things get tough. So, whether you are a student, a teacher, or just someone who loves learning, think about how you can tap into a positive emotions and intrinsic motivation to make your learning experience more effectively and enjoyable.
Good day, Coach. I am Danica May and Francisco, and the topic that given to me is all about developmental and social. Developmental refers to the definition that is based on individual's development stage maturity of cognitive abilities. In other words, it is a definition that takes into account of individual, age, stage of life, and level of cognitive development. For example, the concept of adolescent is a developmental definition as it refers to the specific stage of life between childhood and adulthood. Similarly, the concept of childhood is also a developmental definition as it refers to the specific stage of life characterized by dependence on others' rapid physical growth. Social. A social definition, on the other hand, refers to the definition as it based on societal norms and expectation about what constitutes a romantic relationship between two individuals. Similarly, the concept of success is also a social definition as it is shaped by the societal norms and expectation about what constitutes achievement and accomplishment. For example, the concept of marriage is a social definition as it based on societal norms and expectation about what constitute a romantic relationship between the two individuals. It's worth noting that both developmental and social can be complex and multifaceted and may overlap or intersect in complex ways. For example, the concept of adolescence may influence by both developmental factors, e.g., physical change, and social factors, e.g., societal expectation about independence.
Good day, Coach Jude and classmate. I am Ruby Jane Rosales from Bitolet IA1B, and I will be the last presenter of this group. And my role in this presentation is to tackle about the individual differences in line with psychological principles. So, in individual differences, I will be tackling the following: individual differences in learning, learning and diversity, and standards and assessment. Now, I will be tackling about the individual differences in learning. So, in this, learners have different strategies, approaches, and capabilities for learning that are a function of a prior experience and heredity. Also, individuals are born with and develop their own capabilities and talents. And through learning and social acculturation, they have acquired their own preferences for how they like to learn and the pace of which they learn. But these preferences are not always useful in helping learners reach their learning goals. So, students or learners have really significant differences. Learners develop their own capabilities and talents. Also, they develop this kind of capabilities because of their family or what we call heredity. Learners or students may acquire knowledge by their own, but it's not 100% that they can expand their knowledge, because I believe the one who can give you 100% of knowledge and skills that necessary for living is the educator or the teachers. Now let's dive into another topic, which is the learning and diversity. So in this learning and diversity, learning is most effective when differences in learners' linguistic, cultural, and social backgrounds are taken into account. However, language, ethnicity, race, beliefs, and socio-economic status all can influence learning. Also, when learners perceive that their individual differences in abilities, backgrounds, culture, and experiences are valued, respected, and accommodated in learning tasks and contexts, the levels of motivation and achievement are enhanced. Now, let us move on to the last topic, which is the standards and assessments. So, setting appropriately high and challenging standards and assessing the learners as well as learning progress, including diagnostic, process, and outcome assessment. So, these are integral parts of the learning process. And assessments provides important information to both the learners and the teachers at all stages of the learning process. So, by recognizing and addressing individual differences, standards, and assessment can enhance the overall learning experience. And that's all. I hope you learned from my topic, which is the individual differences. Thank you for watching, and God bless.